Hello, this is Tyagarajan. In this video, I am going to discuss how to answer multiple choice questions in computer architecture and organization. I have also given the answers with short explanation. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please press subscribe button and also click on the bell icon and choose the option all. Now let us see how the processors and memories are organized or connected to form multiprocessing networks. Based on the memories used, the multiprocessor system can be classified into two. The first one is shared memory system. The second one is distributed memory system. In the shared memory system, a global memory is shared by all processors. So, a single address space is used here. But in the case of distributed memory system, each processor has a separate large local memory. The shared memory system can also be subdivided into two based on the access of the memory. The first one is uniform memory access. The second one is non-uniform memory access. In the case of uniform memory access, a single global memory is accessed by all the processors and the access time is same for all processors and for all locations. But in the case of non-uniform memory access, each processor will have a local memory and all these local memories form a global memory. So the access time will be different from processor to processor and based on the location of the memory also. In the case of distributed memory system, many processors will be connected together to form a cluster, and each processor has its own large memory and it is called as node. Each node is a computer. All these nodes are connected together using local area network. The shared memory system is called as tightly coupled system and the distributed memory system is called as loosely coupled system. So it can be easily expanded. In multiprocessor organization, the processor may be a multi-core processor or the system may be a multiprocessor system. In the case of multi-core processor, more than one processors are in a single chip. For example, quad-core processor can handle 4 threads. It will have 4 processors in a single chip. Similarly, in the case of octa-core processor, 8 processors will be in single chip and it can handle 8 threads at a time. More number of cores indicate that the processor is better for multiprocessing. And these processors are connected through on-chip network and these are tightly coupled systems. In the case of multiprocessor system, more than one processors are connected in a single system and these processors are connected through local area network and these are loosely coupled systems. The tightly coupled systems are used for high-speed real-time processing and provides high throughput compared to loosely coupled systems. Now, let us see what are the questions may be asked from this topic. A quad-core processor may use A. 4 memory modules, B. A single global memory. C. A tightly coupled processor organization. D. All the above. In the case of quad-core processor, a global memory will be used if the memory has been divided into modules. All the modules should share the same single address space. B. A single global memory is used. That is also correct. A tightly coupled processor organization, it is also correct. D, all the above. So the most appropriate answer is D, all the above. Let us see the next one. In the distributed memory multiprocessing system, each node has a separate memory, a separate processor and memory, shared memory. So in this case, a separate memory is correct. A separate processor is also correct. A separate processor and memory, that is also correct. But shared memory is not correct. So D is not correct. A, B, C, all the three are suitable for multiprocessing system. But the most appropriate answer is C, because in the distributed memory system, each node will have a separate processor processor and also a memory, because each node is a computer. So C is more suitable compared to A and B. So the answer is C, a separate processor and memory. Let us see the next one. To get high throughput in high-speed real-time processing, dash multiprocessing system is preferably used. Answer is shared memory or tightly coupled multiprocessing system. So the best example is multi-core processor. Now let us see the next question. Loosely coupled system is a distributed memory system, shared memory system, uniform memory access system, non-uniform memory access system. Loosely coupled system is a distributed memory system. So the correct answer is A, distributed memory system. Let us see the next one. Cluster is a shared memory system, B, uniform memory access system, non-uniform memory access system, loosely coupled system. So cluster is a loosely coupled system. So the correct answer is D. Let us see the next one. Each computer in a cluster is called a node. Now let us see the network topologies used in multiprocessor organization. The first one is bus topology. Here the small blue circles are switches. The small black rectangles are nodes. The node is connected to the switch using link. So the next one is ring topology. Here the message will be passing through a circular path. You can easily understand if you draw the topology like this. The same thing is drawn like this. So the blue circles are switches. You can connect a node to each switch. Then the third one is star topology. Here all the nodes will be connected to a central hub. So any node can communicate to another node through this hub only. If this node wants to communicate with this one, it will communicate through this hub. Then another topology is mesh topology. Here each node is connected to all other nodes. You see this one, this is connected to this node, this is connected to this one. So like that, each one is connected with all other nodes. So it is a fully connected network. Similarly, this one is a crossbar topology. Here there are 8 processors. Each processor is connected to all other remaining processors. So this is also a fully connected network. The next type of network is Omega network. If you see here, there are 8 processors. In the first column, you have 4 switch boxes. Each switch box has 4 small switches, and there are 3 columns like that. So you have 12 switch boxes. So 12 into 4, 48 switches are used here. It is given by the formula 2 into n into log n to the base 2. Here n is the number of processors. It is 8. So the number of switches used is equal to 2 into 8 into log 8 to the base 2. So you will have 2 into 8 into log 8 is 3. You will have 48 as given above. So if you have 8 processors, you need 48 switches if you want to connect those processors in Omega network. Now let us see what are the questions that may be asked. For broadcasting the messages, dash network topology is used. Crossbar, Omega, bus, star. Actually, the bus topology is used for broadcasting messages. Let us see the next one. A crossbar network with 8 processors require dash number of switches. 64. 8 into 8, 64. The next one is dash and dash are fully connected networks. The answer is mesh and crossbar. Let us see the next one. An Omega network with 8 processors use dash number of switches. We know the formula 2n log n to the base 2. So it is 48. Here n is 8. So 2 into 8 into log 8 to the base 2 is 48. Now let us see some more questions. These are not directly related to this specific topic, but these are also coming under multiprocessing. CPU is designed for dash level parallelism and GPU is designed for dash level parallelism. A. Data, comma instruction. B. Instruction. C. Instruction data. D. Data. Actually, CPU is designed for executing instructions and GPU is designed for handling data effectively. So it should be instruction data. That is, C is the correct answer. The next one is, in GPU, the memory of SIMD processor is shared by its lanes, shared with other SIMD processors in the GPU, not shared with CPU. The correct answer is A, shared by its lanes. The next one is, in GPU, the memory of SIMD processor is A, shared by its lanes, B, shared with other SIMD processors in the GPU, C, not shared, D, shared with CPU. The correct answer is A, shared by its lanes, because SIMD processors will have many lanes. Let us see the next one. A bus has 16 data lines and requires a minimum of 4 clock cycles of 250 nanoseconds each to transfer data. The bandwidth of the bus is 2 megabytes per second, that is Mbps. See, when you are using bytes, you can use capital B. If you are using bits per second, then you can use small letter b. If the same bus is used to transfer data with same number of clock cycles, but with reduced clock time of 120 nanoseconds, what would be the bandwidth of the bus? The options are 8 megabytes per second, 4 megabytes per second, C 2 megabytes per second, D 1 megabytes per second. So you have to solve the problem and try to find out the answer. Time taken to transfer a single bit through a data line is equal to number of clock cycles into clock time in seconds is equal to 4 into 250 into 10 power minus 9, because nanosecond means 10 power minus 9, is equal to 10 power minus 6, because 4 into 250 is 1000. So you will have 10 power minus 6. Bandwidth of one data line is 1 divided by time taken to transfer a single bit through a data line. So that will be equal to 1 divided by this 10 power minus 6 is equal to 10 power 6. 10 power 6 means 1 megabits per second. Actually, bus has 16 data lines. So this value should be multiplied by 16. That means bandwidth of the bus is equal to number of data lines into bandwidth of one data line. So that is 16 into 1 Mbps. Here we are using small b, so 16 megabits per second. Generally, the bandwidth will be given in terms of megabytes per second. So you have to divide this by 8. It will be 16 Mbps by 8 is equal to 2 megabytes per second is equal to 2 Mbps. Here B is capital B. Since this is the maximum bandwidth specified in the problem, decreasing the clock time to 125 nanoseconds will not increase or change the bandwidth of the bus. Actually, it indicates the bandwidth requirement of the data to be transmitted. So the bandwidth of the bus is 2 Mbps only. So the correct answer is C, 2 Mbps.